guys, welcome back for another Captain Foley movie review. Today we're looking at Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So stay tuned, it's going to be a good show. And this has come up over the years of watching these movies. R2 always seems to find the smoothest way to roll. So they got this desert planet and this nice smooth walkway. Now I realize it is a road, probably it's a makeshift road that's made to Jabba's palace. But later, on Endor, how does he roll through a forest? I mean, it's one of the things that's always bothered me about R2. I love R2 to pieces. He's my favorite character, but it's kind of impractical for him to be rolling around on all these surfaces. And now here again, I think it's a very nitpicky thing, obviously, but that's kind of what my reviews are sometimes. When this door goes up, there's big slots where these pegs go into the ground. R2 better be careful not to fall into one. I mean, that's just a safety hazard for any kind of life form that's going in there. You think there'd be warning signs, beware of, mind the gap, as it were. But no. Now, in the deleted scenes, there's a scene of Luke building his lightsaber in a cave, getting these guys ready for this mission, giving R2 the information, or filming the hologram for Jabba. I think it was actually better to leave that out, because watching this, you're like, what is going on? And C-3PO is so surprised that, they're a gift for Jabba. I think it works out beautifully. So it was good to keep that scene out, although it was kind of cool to see Luke crafting his lightsaber. So it's one of those things I can take either way. It would be nice to have the option to put it back in. I would love that for a special edition Blu-ray, is to have the option to play theatrical, added special effects, or just do comparisons side by side of before and after, I think, while the movie's playing. That would be incredible. And this scene where they're going to the droid, whatever they're doing, always reminds me of like one of the haunted houses you'd find at on Clifton Hill in Niagara Falls, or during Halloween, those fun haunted houses you go through and you get to see things on the side and get kind of scared by things. Exactly what this is like. You're walking through a dark tunnel, there's things jumping out at you, people being tortured. I mean, for droids, this must be terrifying. I always felt bad for that poor little robot. And then I thought, do robots have pain receptors in their feet? That just seems like a silly thing to do for a droid, don't you? What do you guys think? I don't know. But anyway, there you have it. So the music in this one's been replaced with this new shit. Really shouldn't have been done. The older music was much better, and we're much more accustomed to it because we grew up with this stuff. This is just crap. I don't know what's going on here, but not happy about it at all. I mean, this song's pretty good, and it could have been left in as an addition, but to replace the original music that she's dancing to, I don't think is the best idea. There's Fett making his much needed appearance, I guess. I got the toys of these chicks pretty hot, gotta say. This is just goofy to me. This is just silly. Yeah, the original song that these two girls were dancing to, was much better. This scene when she falls into the Rancor pit, her boob pops out. I don't know, I think they've probably taken that out, but yeah, it's just one of those facts that when she fell in, the boob fell out the side or whatever, and yeah. I just learned that not too long ago, actually, so I didn't know that I was supposed to be looking for that. And here comes a Breen from Star Trek. I mean Princess Leia as the bounty hunter Bosk. No, not Bosk. What's her name? I forget her bounty hunter name. I just said Bosk and I'm so embarrassed now. I had the toy of her with this disguise on with the removable helmet. I can't remember. There's an actual bounty hunter name. If you know it, comment below, please, because I completely drawn a blank right now. So I figured I'd look it up. Actually, her name is Boushh. Boushh. So I was sort of right with the boss thing. I just remember from my childhood, remember the packaging, and I thought I could have swore it was similar to Bosk, but Boosh. So.
The mighty Jabba asked why he must pay 50,000.
A, I'm holding a thermal detonator, and B, it always sounded like they said A to me. Like, well, A. Now we're back to music we actually know and love. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that original song? Do you think they should have kept it the original way, or do you go with the special edition, new song, whole new dance number kind of deal? So Chewie was just thrown into a prison cell, and I don't know if I mentioned this in my first Star Wars one, but I want to mention it in this one because I really don't think I mentioned it. It's been said by Han Solo, actually Harrison Ford, when they were interviewing them for Star Wars, that Chewie is actually 200 years old. So that's something that you guys might not have known. Chewie is very old, and that's why he looks so good, I think, in JJ's new Star Wars Episode 7, because he doesn't have the gray like everybody said he should have when they first saw him, because they live to be quite old. So Chewie is 200 years old. Just a little fact. I don't know if you guys knew that, but now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Star Wars. And this whole decarbonation thing, it's a very loud process. But I mean, she didn't have anti-grav units probably to get them out without doing this. I don't know. And you would think there'd be night guards or something patrolling the PAL, especially the main room there. I don't know, it just seems kind of contrived to me. But, what are you going to do?
Hey, Jabba. Look, Jabba. I was
Just on my way to pay you, and I got a little sidetracked. And it's basically her fault and this Luke Skywalker kid and the rebellion. But basically her fault because she guilted me into it. I was in Echo Base and I wanted to leave, but she was like, well, we need a good, just gonna take your money and run. And I don't know, I got kind of suckered in, and then I got involved with all this Empire stuff, and I got frozen in carbonite, and I'm sorry, I'm not making this stuff up. It really happened. I know it sounds like it's a made up story, but you can't write this stuff. You just can't. Enter the Jedi. Sounds like a kick-ass action movie. Kung Fu Jedi kind of action. I want to have the Force. I mean, that's just so awesome. And I always wondered, these things on Bib Fontana, are they like tentacles or ears, or what are they? I as a kid, I didn't know if they were attached to him or if they were like some kind of headdress. I don't know. Now, I gotta say something about the Slave Leia costume. It's amazing, and the Slave Leia cosplay is amazing, but they're thinking of taking all this stuff off the shelves and not selling anymore, not producing anymore, because of one dad being a fucking moron and saying, oh, well, my kids are wondering what's a Slave Leia. Well, shut the hell up. If you don't like the toy, don't buy the toy. There's no sense ruin it for everybody else because you're an idiot. And the fact that Disney is actually agreeing to do this, Disney, go fuck yourself. Just cut it out. Look at your Jasmine from Aladdin. She's wearing pretty much the exact same outfit. You're not gonna ban that, are you? Like, you're such hypocrites. It's just to please one person or a couple of people that speak out. And this has been released now for 20, 30 years or more. So just now you're like, oh, well, it's the same thing with the Confederate flag and the General Lee. Getting rid of the General Lee and taking Dukes of Hazzard off the air because of the Confederate flag on the roof. It's just fucking stupid. So that's my rant about the Slave Leia outfit. It needs to stay, not just because it's sexy, but because it's a part of science fiction, pop culture history. And Disney, you need to get your act together and smarten up. I never really thought of this till just this viewing, but I really, really wonder if this poor Gamorrean guard if he tastes like bacon. Come on, guys. It had to be said. Do Gamorrean guards taste like bacon? Or do they taste like ham? Maybe pork chops. I don't know. Do you know? Now this scene here where Luke throws the rock at the door control. I always wondered, did he just toss the rock? Did he have good aim, or did he use the Force to guide it? I assume he probably used the Force to guide it, but not 100% sure. Then, of course, after that, we see the Rancor master or whatever come in and cry about it. And it always made me wonder, did the Rancor have a name? Was his name Fred? Was his name Kevin? Like, what was the Rancor's name? Maybe George. Or Randy the Rancor. I think that might be more appropriate. But this poor guy that looked after this thing, gross, disgusting slob that he is, it's kind of sad. And yeah, what's the Rancor's name? Does anybody know? Maybe it's in one of the books, maybe the Expanded Universe books. I don't know. Let me know. I'm not even going to bother looking that up. So add in the Bantha herd. I kind of like that addition. Seeing the vastness that they have to cross to get to the Sarlacc pit, that's also a cool addition to the special features. So it's something that is welcome for me as far as special edition goes. Stick close to Chewie and Lando. I don't know how much time they've had to talk to Han about what's going on, but last time that he was aware, Lando basically screwed him, and he got frozen in carbonite because of that. He doesn't know that Lando's helped to establish this rescue setup and, you know, search the galaxy with Chewie for where Han was and all of this. He doesn't know that unless they've talked to him. But how much time have they had to talk to him? So last thing he knows, Lando was basically the one that screwed them over. So I wouldn't be too happy about that. Why does this Sarlacc now look like Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors? That bugs me. The tentacles are fine. The tentacles make sense, but that stupid Audrey mouth, no, you could have done something much better. Do something that looks like the Predator mouth, or the vampires from Blade Trinity with the like split jaw. Don't have an Audrey beak. Why would you do that? Boba Fett, really? Why did Boba Fett have to fly over there to shoot Luke? Could have shot him while he was in the air. Could have shot him before he flew over there. To fly over to somebody point blank range to shoot them is really, really stupid. See, this makes Boba Fett look not like a badass bounty hunter, but more like a moron. It kind of makes him the comic relief for this movie, and I hate that. Really, that's the second burp joke in this movie. The first one was a little toad-like creature outside of Jabba's palace. They ate a bug, and then burped. Now after they do this and destroy this sail barge, there's a scene cut out which is really good. It's in a sandstorm. They meet up at the Millennium Falcon. There's the X-Wing there. And they have a little chat. Han thanks them for coming to rescue him. It definitely should have been left in. If you haven't seen the deleted scene, check it out. But it's something that I think should have been added to the special edition. I think it does kind of interfere with the pacing of the movie a little bit, but I think it's very good character development and very cool to see. So we get this little thank you from Han here, but it's not quite the same as the scene that they cut out. And one thing with R2's little speech on the console there, I don't know if you've noticed this, but in Empire Strikes Back, as well as this movie, let me just go back to it for a second. The red lettering in this little window when R2 speaks, it always shifts back and forth, like it's an overlay. It's always bothered me effects-wise, and they never fixed it for the special edition either. I don't know if it's just me that sees it or if it's anyone else, but let me know, because when he says his little stuff in that window, especially in Empire Strikes Back, it kind of jitters back and forth, and it doesn't look right. So I don't know why they didn't fix things like that in Special Edition. Also, if you notice here, these TIE fighters that just flew in disappeared. It happens a few times in Star Wars. When you're flying, the TIE fighters are flying in, they'll all of a sudden just disappear. They actually did correct it for the Special Edition, some of them, but there's still the odd time where you see it. So watch any TIE fighter formations. They'll fly by the camera, they'll get pretty far away, and then they'll just kind of disappear. So, and this, I remember seeing this as a kid and going, who the hell is this guy? This old guy. I didn't know about the Emperor. I mean, yeah, we see him in Empire Strikes Back, but I didn't know that he was like Lord Vader's boss. I thought Lord Vader was like the all-powerful commander of the Empire. So as a kid, this really confused me. Now I understand that I'm an idiot, and there is the Emperor. So, but yeah, I just wanted to get, because a lot of these movies, I say when I was a kid. But that's when these imprinted on me, because I watched these over and over and over again as a kid, and I noticed little things that growing up, I just noticed them every time I watch it, and I kind of expand on it each time. So if I say that a lot during these reviews, I apologize, but it's just because that is when I was most impressionable and watched these the most. And as a kid, you see things that you might not see as an adult, or you process things differently. So it's interesting to get that kind of perspective. Now there's also a theory that I heard after I did my Empire Strikes Back review, that dark force cave that Luke goes into and cuts off the head of Darth Vader is actually... What happened was Lord Vader actually went to Dagobah before Luke even did, killed Yoda, and that image of Darth Vader in that cavern or that cave was a residual energy from that event. So, and it is strong with the dark side. So apparently Yoda, there's one theory that Yoda's been dead this whole time, and Luke has been being trained by this image of Yoda, but not a Force Ghost Yoda. So I heard that it was commented on in my Empire Strikes Back review. Interesting theory. Let me know what you guys think if you've read that. If you have, what book is it in? I'd like to find out. But I don't know if I don't think that's 100% true. So perhaps Darth Vader showed up there looking for Yoda, and or maybe had a tangle with Yoda, and then Yoda escaped. And yes, there was some residual energy that manifested itself as Darth Vader in the cave. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. It was an interesting thing to read on my comments. I didn't even know about it. Otherwise, I would have mentioned it in my Empire Strikes Back review. But so he'll be the last Jedi after Yoda dies. Just told him that. Pass on what you have learned. Has Luke really learned enough to teach other Jedi anything? Like, he didn't get the full Jedi training. He got kind of a few lessons here and there. I mean, yes, I guess the Force Ghosts of Ben and Qui-Gon and Yoda can come and teach him as Force Ghosts. But that raises the question, if they open another Jedi Academy, are they going to have Jedi lectures? Like, from the Ghosts? Ghost Jedi Lecture. Special guest today, Anakin Skywalker. And would it be the Hayden Christensen version, or the original actor that they had for the Return of the Jedi, Force Ghost for Anakin? Who knows? I mean, it'd be cool. Like, do you get training from these guys afterwards? Because really, you have not learned enough to teach other Jedi. That's like, I learned math in school, sort of. I hated math. I was bad at it. But that's like saying you're the last math instructor after I die. Pass on what you have learned. Wow, future generations are pretty much screwed as far as math goes. I'm just saying. It's your twin sister. But I have no sister. And now you can see the look on his face. He's like, oh dear God. I've had the hots for my sister. I've kissed my sister. I think he kind of finally realized what the hell's been going on. I almost feel like at this point Han should be like, watch this.
Alright, hang on.
And they go into hyperspace, and then Leia's like, huh, this one actually works. Because the Falcon last time in the Empire Strikes Back was just not working too good. So this big spire, this is where the Emperor's throne room or chair is. Seems kind of strange. I know it'd be hard to pinpoint that during an attack or whatever. Maybe it's heavily shielded, who knows. But just to be up that high, away from the ship, really, I'd have my throne room like more heavily fortified than just one tall spire, I think. I don't know what you guys, but perhaps the whole thing can launch as an escape pod should the need arise, you know, in case it gets destroyed or something. Like that'll never happen to a Death Star, but, you know, maybe they've learned and this can actually be launched as like a rocket or an escape pod. I think that'd be kind of cool. So interesting fact, when they were filming this in the California redwood forest, they actually had people with orange vests, and they gave Chewie an orange vest when they weren't filming so that people wouldn't shoot him, hunters wouldn't shoot him thinking he was a Sasquatch. Is that really that common of a problem up in the redwood forest? I don't care who you are. Maybe a Jedi Master should fly this thing in a forest and not frickin' kill themselves. But anyone that's not like skilled in the Force, really? How are you going to drive this fast, or fly this fast, or hover this fast, or whatever, levitate this fast through a forest without hitting anything? I mean, it's just insane. It doesn't make any sense at all. Unless the bikes themselves have some kind of sensor deflector system, which gives you a rough idea of, you know, where to go. It kind of guides your actions a little bit because it detects something in front of it. It's still not foolproof, obviously, because it does hit a few trees, but it makes sense. But to just say that these things are fast is ridiculous. And then this clown is looking behind him, making sure nobody's following him. So he's not even looking ahead. I mean, my suspension of disbelief only goes so far. And if you're looking behind yourself, why are you going this fast? You're gonna die. You're gonna die. Just saying. Kind of like that. So yeah, you look behind yourself for a second and you're going that speed, you're done. I've driven my fair share of four-wheelers and ATCs through bushes, on trails mind you, but still at a good enough speed that if you're not paying attention, you're gonna die. And the fact that there are no trails here, this is just a forest. I mean, there's probably game trails, yes, I know, but still. Seriously, suspension of disbelief, only so far. I know, it's a science fiction film. Shut up, Stuart. Again, how can R2-D2 roll on this surface? He must have good ground clearance and really beefy tires. Because any kind of forest floor would be rough on him, I would think. You get bogged down, especially with the load, the distances, the housings for his legs are above the ground. I mean, another special feature they added for the special features was the fact that Wicket now blinks, which is fine. I think it's a great addition. Adds more realism, kind of like the Gorn blinking in Star Trek. I mean, it's a little nod, and it's something that our minds subconsciously notice because we are so attuned to watching other people in our day-to-day lives that we do notice the blinking. And I think it just adds a little level of realism, which definitely was a great improvement as far as special features go. Coming up in a second is the worst bit of dialogue ever. If you have a dirty mind, listen.
Yes, I know.
My son is with them.
Are you sure?
I have felt him.
My master.
Strange that I had not.
I wonder if your feelings on this matter are clear, Lord Vader. They are clear.
Could just be me. Probably not.
Then you must go to the center. They are clear.
And I think the Emperor's full of shit. I'm going to tell you why.
Then you must go to the central room and wait for him.
He will come to me. I have foreseen it.
I have foreseen it. His compassion for you will be his undoing. He will come to you, and then you will bring him before me.
Now that sounds like that was just made up on the spot bullshit, because he didn't even know that Luke was on the planet. He didn't feel him, as he said. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I have foreseen this. He'll come to you. Now that I know. and then he'll join us. His compassion will be his undoing. It's just like he's making it up as he goes along. He's just on this. Oh yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Go on down there. It's all good. Bullshit. It's this thing here where R2 cuts them out. First of all, don't you think his saw is a little fragile for that? And wouldn't he be damaged in the fall? Even that little saw thing, you like snap off. But then they're all falling in one clump, one group. So where are the droids when they hit the ground? I mean, to fall like that with all those people, you get hurt. You get a boot to the head or fall on R2-D2 and like break your back. So I don't know. It's always seemed odd to me, that whole scene. And why did they worship C-3PO over R2-D2? R2-D2's clearly a strange-looking creature. Sure, C-3PO is too, and he's gold. Like, they're golden god. I understand all that. But if I'm going to worship anything as primitive culture, it'd probably be R2-D2 because he's so... First of all, he's my size. And second of all, he doesn't look like every other standard biped or humanoid. So, I mean, that's kind of incredible. I don't know. And the other thing is, sure, you see C-3PO, who's your god, start worshiping him. Why would you want to eat the people that he showed up with? Don't you think that they might be his entourage? They might be people that he actually cares about? It doesn't make sense that they'd want to have a feast in his honor, but eat the people he came with. That just seems kind of odd to me. What do you guys think? I don't know. Come on, join in, guys. If you listen to these guys, listen. He says, that guy's wise. He says, that guy's wise. Listen again. That guy's wise.
Do you understand anything they're saying?
So a fact that's been brought to my attention over the last little while is the fact that, yes, indeed, the Ewoks were going to eat these people. And it kind of changes your view on the Ewoks. As a kid, I never thought for once that this was weird or strange. But as you get older, you kind of realize that they're going to eat people, like, alive. I mean, they're obviously intelligent. They're not, like, deer. So, I mean, it's kind of odd that a race of people like the Ewoks kind of changes your view on them. These cute little cuddly things, you know, eating people. But they are flesh eaters after all. You know what I mean? They are flesh eaters. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe they're just going to eat the brains. And the fact, too, that Leia's there, somebody that looks exactly like the people you're just about to eat, but they're fine with her because Wicket brought her in. It's just this odd dynamic going on here. And the fact that they won't listen to C-3PO until he uses his magic. Really? I mean, if my God was telling me don't eat these people because they're with me, I'd be like, oh, all right then, we're good to go. So just how smart are the Ewoks? How advanced are they? They still eat, like, people? They still eat people? They still eat other tribes, I guess? And yet, they're not that bright because they're not going to listen to their God, who is their God. I don't know. It's just, it's a whole series of conundrums. And now the Ewoks are just cool with everybody. Like, I'm sorry we were going to eat you earlier, but it's great hanging out with you and hearing all your stories. Awesome. It's just weird. This whole thing where Luke asks her about her mom, what do you remember about your mom? Oh, it just flashes really. She died when I was very young. She was very beautiful but very sad. It looks like I have no memory of my mother. Only that is Leia. So, I know it's just one of those prequel George Lucas writing screw-ups, and these shouldn't be at fault for that. But when you look at the whole thing as a package, it's like, that makes no sense. I was like, Leia was born first by like a couple seconds. She realized, she felt that her mom had given up the will to live, I guess. That made her sad.
You'll learn to use desire.
I don't know.
I have it.
My sister has it.
My sister.
And then they have this whole realization that I think I've always known. Then why were you macking on each other?
Yes.
Because here, I know. Somehow. I've always known. I can understand them maybe feeling that they had a connection of some kind, and they could have mistaken that for a romantic involvement. But to say that I've always kind of known that we were related, it's just creepy when you think about it. And here comes the epic special effects fuck-up that they haven't fixed, even for the special editions. Watch Vader's head here as it passes right through the front of the shuttle. They didn't have the shuttle raised enough or whatever, and the plate, his head passes right through. They've done special edition after special edition where they added stuff and changed things, but they didn't fix that. Another interesting thing to point out here is Luke's wearing all black. It's all closed off, it's just black. And later, as the movie progresses and as they end up fighting and it starts to lower, the flap exposes the white underneath, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, revealing that he was kind of borderline whether he should be dark side or not here. And as it moves on, it's like Captain Kirk's uniform and Wrath of Khan. It opens up and you can see the white, the good force side showing through. So it's kind of a metaphoric thing, which not a lot of people really pick up on, but it is worth noting that he is in fact wearing black through most of this movie, and then it starts to shine through at the end there. In this scene here, the Ewok steals the damn speeder. Tell me that he wouldn't die. He's a primitive. I'm surprised he got the thing started, let alone flying it or driving it without hitting anything. And he doesn't even have a foot on the pedals. The pedals do things. There we go. Now oh yeah, see, he'd be dead. I'm sorry, he would have been dead long ago, and now he's definitely dead. He can join the ranks of the Ewoking dead. Because, no. Funny, but no. Yay, Tarzan. There's also an extended scene here that's in the deleted scenes where they battle a bunch of stormtroopers and stuff inside the bunker, and it's pretty involved. I'm kind of glad they cut that out too. It's funny, and Khan makes a little smart-ass comment at one point, but it's something that I think wasn't needed and kind of would have interrupted the flow of the movie. So definitely cool that they left that out, but it's fun to watch, so definitely check out the deleted scenes for this if you can find them. It should be just on Google. You can Google them. Return of the Jedi deleted scenes. Definitely worth checking out. Now, for years and years and years, I could have swore when I was younger, when they realized the shield was up and they all do this, that one or two of them hit something and explode. But I must be going crazy. I maybe just pictured that in my little kid brain, that's what would have happened. Because it's not a thing that actually happens. But it would be so cool to see them, like, one try to pull up and actually just get destroyed. I don't know if that was originally there and they took it out, or I don't know. I can swear to God that I remember that as a kid. Now the Emperor, there's a spot right here beside this eye, right there, that always bugged me because it's like it's been photoshopped and you can see it moving in like it's different color black. They've kind of fixed it a little bit for the special edition. You can still see it altering a little bit, but the black, they've kind of blended in better. But I always wondered why that was, if the makeup didn't look right there and it just got filmed and they didn't realize it till after the fact and they needed to fix it. I know somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. Because it's right here, it's right beside this eye. And it's fuzzy, it looks funny, and it moves. It's just the area of the hood. It's always bugged me. It always draws my eye every time I watch this. So if anybody knows what's going on with that, please let me know. It looks like they did fix the color a little bit for the special editions, which is awesome. But you can still see kind of a fuzziness in the movement that's not the way it's supposed to be. So something was there that they've had to cover up and fix. You can see where JJ stole some of his imagery for the upcoming Star Wars Force Awakens. Han and Chewie with their arms behind their heads. looking around, like, whoa. Way to go, JJ. I don't know, there's something about stormtroopers being hit with like spears and rocks that I don't think would hurt them very much because they're wearing armor. I mean, a minor annoyance because we've been knocked over. Oh my god, we can't get up, and where's our blaster? Really? There are a few things about this that bother me, but as a kid, I really enjoyed this. So, and I don't hate on the Ewoks like a lot of people do. Kind of like the Ewoks. They bring back a lot of good memories from my childhood. So, yeah, and shoot, use your blasters, guys. I don't know about you. If I was getting an Ebola, that wouldn't affect anybody wearing armor. So they need R2-D2. R2-D2, where are you? We got some work for you now. Hacking at the joints. So here he says, they're heading for the medical frigate. Why in the name of God would you bring a medical frigate to an attack? How many weapons can they have? If they have weapons, I understand maybe. You need all the ships you can get. But why would you bring a hospital ship to a goddamn battle? Keep it in the background. Way back. A hyperspace jump away. Not that far. Something. Really? Admiral Akbar's got some of the best lines in Star Trek, or Star Wars history. I said Star Trek, didn't I? Oh my god. You're gonna roast me alive, aren't you? We can't repel a flavor of that magnitude. It's a trap. It's okay, guys. He too has joined the ranks of the Ewoking Dead. He'll be fine. Let's give him a little while. They need reinforcements. Send 3 squads. Open the back door. Alright, so this is the back door. They open it. A bunch of people run out. Probably not 3 squads worth because that's not enough. But Han just runs in behind them. How does he know that the 3 squads aren't coming out behind him still? That would have been funny if all of a sudden he's like, they're like, hands up. This goes back to what I talked about earlier. Sister. You have a twin sister. And then the Emperor chimes in. Yes, I knew that. I had foreseen that as well. Really? If you had foreseen all this, wouldn't you have known that there was a twin sister or that there was something kind of off? But no, it's not mentioned. And it just goes back to the Emperor being probably like, oh yeah, I saw that. Go down to the planet again. She'll probably come and talk to you too. Luke's a little pissed off here. Yeah. Good. Give in to your hatred. Join the dark side. We have cookies. A hand for a hand. An eye for an eye. So in some of the versions, the special features, they added no there, where he picks up the Emperor. This one didn't have it, thank God. I don't think it's not something that's necessary as well. But to fly through this thing at that speed with the Millennium Falcon would be atrociously hard. I mean, your cockpit's on one side of the ship, so everything clears this side perfectly. But you got to account for a whole other ship beside you. I mean, the Corellian fighters that you see that have the cockpit in the center part make more sense because you can compensate on each side. But I think that would be hard to fly in these kind of situations because you got a whole ship on that side of you that you got to account for. Not a scratch, but I'm going to take off the radar dish. So that kind of is a cool homage in JJ's where there's a different shaped radar dish there to replace that one. But anyway, but yeah, to fly the Death Star would be incredibly difficult, I would think. Not the Death Star. Wow, I said that. To fly the Millennium Falcon would be incredibly difficult, I would think, especially in close quarters, situations like that. So we got a Super Star Destroyer destroyed, crashed into the surface. It's pretty brutal. Super Star Destroyers are huge. So I mean, that's one loss for the Empire. Good job. And how is it that none of these other Imperials see Darth Vader, their leader, being dragged around by some yuts, and they don't go to see if he's okay? See, there's the white open up to show that Luke's not going to be a bad guy. He's got the good side of the Force showing through right now. And I remember this scene when I was younger. Just actually see what Darth Vader looked like after all that was insane. And then he had like the old wrinkly mushroom head kind of deal. I mean, we see the back of his head in The Empire Strikes Back a little bit. But it was always intriguing to me what this guy looked like and why he was in this suit. So it was cool to see that, how that all came about. But just me, or does it seem incredibly silly that there's this huge open passageway right to the core of the space station? I realize it's still under construction, but considering what happened to the first Death Star, you'd think they would have handled their business a little bit better than that. Anyway, very interesting the way they get out of there just in time too. Makes for a great action sequence for sure. And yeehaw, it's like they get shot out of a gun because you see the flame and then projectile. So, always love that scene. Now, wouldn't there be pieces of the Death Star flying towards the planet and, you know, not burning up because they're so huge, just destroying everything that they hit, causing global devastation on this little forest moon? I think it would annihilate the atmosphere and destroy, like, a lot of the planet's surface. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. He's my brother. Well, how long have you known this, and why haven't you said anything? Han's like, I missed a lot while I was in Carbon Freeze, apparently. Like, why didn't people tell me these things? And here I call bullshit on a few things, and don't replace the song! Anyway, at the end here you're going to see celebrations on Coruscant, you're going to see celebrations on Cloud City, you're going to see celebrations on Naboo. Okay, one Super Star Destroyer was destroyed, possibly a couple other Star Destroyers in that Death Star explosion, and the Death Star. The Emperor and Lord Vader are dead. But there's generals, there's Moths, there's Grand Moff Tarkin, whatever they are, I don't know. But they're everywhere, in Star Destroyers, in Super Star Destroyers. You can't tell me that the Emperor is just, or the Empire is just defeated because of this one battle. So, first of all, that's bullshit that this is, oh, the end of the war, yay! Secondly, how did all these other cities get wind of all this? And thirdly, in Empire Strikes Back, Lando Calrissian said to evacuate the city before more Imperial troops arrive, which means that Cloud City should be under Imperial rule by right now. Which, oh, just because the Death Star gets destroyed, everybody's going to be like, oh, well, you know, you're free now, we're just going to leave. No. So why is Cloud City celebrating? Because they're probably under Imperial occupation. And I don't know, I'm just ranting right now just because it's the end of the movie. And I got a lot of pent-up aggression and anger right now. So, and Coruscant, seriously? This is like the heart of the Empire? No. This wouldn't be happening, guys. Hopefully this is explained in the next Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens. Because it just does not happen, first of all. There's still a whole Imperial fleet out there that has a lot of firepower and a lot of powerful people in control. And they're not just going to go, oh, well, the Emperor's dead, we give up. This song is nice, it's a good song, but it's not as good as the original song that closed this movie out. So that's all I have to say about that right there. It's going to be interesting, too, to see how Vader's melted mask makes it into The Force Awakens. Whether Kylo Ren comes to Endor to get it, why that wasn't put somewhere else after it was burned, who knows what happened to it. I'm eagerly awaiting to see that storyline, see what happens there. So There you go. You got Luke's little white thing open again, just to show that he's not going to turn to the dark side. Because he is wearing black, which is kind of odd. Most Jedis wear lighter colors. So, and of course the big controversy here, we're having Hayden Christensen in the as the Force Ghost. It kind of makes sense to me in a way. I'm conflicted on that change for the special edition. I mean, as a Force Ghost, you would assume that you could pick any time along your timeline to present yourself, and might as well show yourself in your prime, right? But at the same time, it's like, why mess with the original? Because we just saw him that way. I don't know. So there we have the Force Ghosts. Whether they're going to be included in the next movies, who knows? But guys, that is it for Captain Foley for Return of the Jedi. Stay tuned. Next one is going to be, unfortunately, The Phantom Menace. But it has to be done. I don't know what else I can say about it that hasn't been said already, but I tend to find things that other people haven't mentioned. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for joining me for the wrap-up of this first Star Wars trilogy saga complete. The original one is done. Now it's time to move on to the prequels. So stay tuned for that, guys. And until then, it's Captain Foley signing off. See you later. Live long and prosper. Oh, a lot of people are mad now. See you soon.